Kardea Brown and welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here joining our cook along. Today I'm making my grandma's candied yams, and I tell you, no holiday will be complete in our family without these yams, and I'm going to show you how she makes it. All right, now we're cooking together, but at any point I get ahead of you, don't worry. Just hit pause and catch up to me when you're ready. Before we begin, please preheat your oven to 375. All right, let's get cooking. We got our 4 sweet potatoes. Now you're probably wondering, why are we calling this yams if it's really sweet potatoes? Not many people know this, but you will now. Sweet potatoes and yams are different. I know. Well, somehow, somewhere along the way, they just started calling cooked sweet potatoes yams. But just in case you need to know, these are sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a lot lighter and the skin is less tough than yams. Yams are darker in color. They're more like of a purple color. And yams are mainly found in tropical areas. The more you know. I love my grandma's candied yams. I mean, I don't even really need dessert. The candied yams are so good. I mean, it's buttery, it's sweet, they're tender. I think everyone comes to Thanksgiving dinner expecting my grandmother's sweet potato pie and her candied yams. That woman knows her way with sweet potatoes. She does. All right, this recipe is super simple, but it has so much flavor. That's what we're known for in the Gullah community. For those of you who don't know, Gullah people are direct descendants of West African and enslaved people. During the slave trade, Africans were sent to southeastern areas of the U.S., even some in the West Indies, and they were just a people of adaptation. They didn't have much to work with being enslaved people, and they just, anything that they were given, anything that they grew, they just made something out of nothing. And I think a lot of that tradition has stayed strong to this day. Now, as I'm peeling my sweet potato, I noticed that there are a little bit of white spots on here. Don't worry, your sweet potato is not going bad. What that is where the starch and the sugar start to try to escape the potato when it comes through the flesh. So don't worry about it. Just use your peeler and go over it. Your sweet potato is perfectly fine. All right, that's done. Let's clean our work area. All right, now let's slice our sweet potato. I like to slice my sweet potato, I would say about this width. It's not about a ½ inch, I would say about a ¼ inch thick. This will ensure that your potatoes cook all the way through. If they're too thick, they're gonna take longer to cook and you run the risk of burning your sugar. My favorite holiday has to be Thanksgiving. And it's, of course it's for the food, but it's the gathering. It's, being able to fellowship with your family members around food and not feeling bad about eating an insane amount of food and sweets and desserts. I guess Christmas is almost the same, but we don't cook as heavy for Christmas. So I try to get it in during Thanksgiving. And I'm putting some of the potatoes in the small baking dish just to get it off the cutting board. But if you don't have like this pretty cute 2-quart dish, you can always use a small baking dish. It's a little thicker. And we're gonna put our last potato in the dish. I know you're probably thinking that this looks like a lot, it may overflow, and it won't. Because as the potato cooks, it will shrink in size. All right, let's head over to the stove. All right, now we're gonna make the sauce for our candied yams. Turn the heat on under a saucepan. I'd say on medium. Let's melt 1 stick of salted butter. And you can help move it along by taking like a butter knife and just swishing it around your saucepan. All right, so if you do not have salted butter at home, that's okay. Just use 1 stick of unsalted butter and add a pinch of salt. The butter has melted, and now we're gonna add 2 cups of granulated sugar. It's candied yam, so we need the sugar. Okay, I'm gonna use a spoon and just mix the butter with the sugar. Okay. While this melts, grab 1 20-ounce can of crushed pineapples. I have a strainer here. I'm gonna use just some of the juice and pineapples from this can. Okay, I'd say half the can. Add the juice to the pot, as well as the pineapples. Give it a stir. And you'll start to notice that the sugar is melting down. And eventually, it'll become this syrupy consistency. Okay. Let's add a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of cloves, and a pinch of salt. Give it a stir. Now we're gonna bring our mixture to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're gonna turn the heat off, add a teaspoon of vanilla, and then pour this stuff on top of our sweet potatoes. All right, it's boiling. Give it a little stir. Turn your heat off. Now add your teaspoon of vanilla extract. I like to add vanilla extract after I turn off the heat because vanilla extract, of course, has alcohol. So you don't want the alcohol to burn off. So always add your vanilla after the heat is off. Move your potatoes on a flat surface. Grab your mitts because your pot should be hot. And pour the sauce right on top of the sweet potatoes. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. Grab some foil, cover, and we're gonna let it bake in the oven at 375 for about 45 minutes. Okay. All right, hit pause and I'll see you back here in about 45 minutes. All right, it's been 45 minutes. Let's remove the foil. Grab your mitts. Ooh, it's pretty. All right. We're gonna let that cook for an additional 20 to 25 minutes until the yams or sweet potatoes are tender and everything is nice and caramelized. Hit pause and meet me back here then. All right, it's been 25 minutes. Let's remove our now they're candied yams from the oven. Oh, look at that. Nice and bubbly and caramelized. Look at that. Grandma's candied yams. And I can't wait to try it. Let's take a taste. Ooh, I like it with a lot of juice. You gotta get that juice from the bottom. That's what my grandma says. Oh, that looks good. It looks good. Let's taste. I mean, these yams, they're tender, sweet potatoes, but now they're candy yams. So now it's okay for us to call them candied yams. It's tender, buttery, cinnamony. I mean, it's a little sweet. It's not too overpowering. And I taste the natural sweetness of the sweet potatoes. And then there's the pineapple. Just, oh my goodness. And then the pineapples, it's a twist. And that's my grandmother's signature. It's the pineapples. Now you guys have our family secret. Thanks for taking my class. I hope you had fun with me because I surely have fun with you.